Yo, what's going on, everyone? I know we are 2 weeks behind, but it is what it is because that's what happens when you're a grown, functioning adult and life kicks you in other regions because you're like, oh shit, if I don't do my main job, how can I do a podcast? And we're not in a tax bracket just for this to be our main job yet. So that's what we've been out for 2 weeks, but we're back. Yay!
Yay!
Joining us on the show tonight, we have Chip and Eb, and we're going to talk briefly about the U.S. Open Cup because it's a competition that really doesn't fucking matter, much as my light fell. And that's about it, because the U.S. Open Cup is a shit show, much like my light.
Everyone's team lost, and somehow Union Omaha, NoCo, and Tormenta split the prize money somehow.
Which makes no sense to me.
I don't fucking get it.
Well, it was like wild. They beat the most upsets or whatever, which, whatever. My team made some money, so I'm happy with it. But, there's some very salty CFC fans online because they're like, well, we went to extra time, or PKs or whatever the hell they did. They're like, well, we should win. It's like, well, you didn't upset any higher division teams, so suck it.
Boots. And that's what we. I mean, let's talk about it. U.S. Open Cup was this past week. As Chip alluded to, no teams from USL League One made it. But I will say this: there were some good games. Richmond versus DC United, even though they didn't get.
Did you watch that one? Did you watch that one?
I listened to the radio call. Well, I'll take that back.
Oh, right, because we couldn't fucking watch it because fuck Bleacher Report. Sorry, keep going.
And coming down the field is Emilio Terzaghi. He's really got the gumption, lads. He's got the gumption. He's got the skills. That's a nickel ball handling skill right there, lads.
Hold on, Chip. That is fantastic.
Old-time radio voice.
Spot on.
So there's like a shoe sign service ad in the middle or something. Buggy whips. I mean, I don't know what they're into in the 20s.
So pretty much, shout out to RK FUGs. They were streaming the game, so I was able to watch some parts of it. But yeah, they did get against DC. NoCo held their own against the Colorado Rapids. Who else played well against a top tier side?
Omaha played a top tier side. Didn't really. They showed up for like 20 minutes.
All right, can I just say this? Because I can say this now because everyone lost. I don't know why y'all went into that game with that much hype, like y'all was gonna win it against the St. Louis team that was.
They have lost like one game.
I don't even think they've lost. I think they have drawn one, but I think it's the hype from last year.
Nah, bro.
And if you're like being a lazy journalist, it's kind of like, well, Union Omaha made a deep run last year. Like, it's got to be like the same thing. And it's like, well, a new coach, half the team's new. Like,
this ain't Jay Mills.
Play a different style. Like, I don't know. Like,
I'm sorry, you wanted them to do research on lower league teams?
God forbid, right? But no, I just think that's. I think I was talking to the guys from League One on the Rocks, and that was kind of like the comment we all had was like last year's team was kind of built for those upsets because you had that really fast counterattack. And for us, we had Dos Santos, who's great. He's a really great target man, but him trying to run down the field at like the speed of smell was not going to do it against MLS competition.
No. And also shout out to Charlotte, who did they took Charleston Battery, who's I think number 1 in USL Championship. They might be number 1. I forgot how that works, but
they're like number 1 in the East. They're a lot better than they have been previously.
Took them fairly high. Took them into extra time tonight. So unfortunately, no USL League One team goes on to the next round. So the competition does not matter anymore. And the teams splitting the money are NoCo, Union Omaha, and who else? Tormenta. So those are the 3 teams splitting the money. I think our wrestler is like $8,000, something like that. So
25 split 3 ways. So whatever that ends up being. Math. I do math all day. I don't want to do math on the podcast.
There you go. All right. So there we have that. We have the U.S. Open Cup out of the way. Today's show is going to be a little bit different. Instead of us going back and previewing last week's and the week before that game, we want to get out the show at 12 o'clock. We're just going to get you prepared for this week's upcoming games, but we're also going to talk about the table and what team surprises us, what team has that let us down? What players have surprised us? What players have let us down? And also give you our vibes and chaos picks throughout. So, guys, where should we start with first?
I guess we'll just go straight down the table, tell you from first to 12. So you got Charlotte at 1, NCFC at 2, Tormenta at 3, Greenville at 4, Madison at 5, NoCo at 6 to round out the playoff spots at the moment. Right after them at number 7 is Omaha, Kickers at 8, Knoxville at 9, Lexington at 10, Chattanooga at 11, and Fuego at 12.
And we should note real quick that the table's all over the place, just like it is every year. So the independents are sitting on 6 games, and so are Tormenta. So if we did I'll do a points per game table if I get bored at work tomorrow to kind of break it down a little bit more. But it's a lot tighter than it looks, and you have 4 teams sitting on 5 points right now from 5th to 8th. So it's a real tight table.
Yeah,
which is kind of what we all said it was going to be, which is, like NoCo's only played 3 games, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Ford has only played 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just want to say my prediction about NoCo, I feel really good about it because I said Delgado was going to be an outstanding goalkeeper, and he has been. Just want to say that. Y'all, I say let's start off at the top of the table, work our way down, talk about the pros and cons of each team, and just do it that way. So start off, Charlotte Independence. 6 games in, they're top of the table, haven't lost a game. What are some of the pros and cons of this Charlotte team so far?
I mean, they're still shooting. I guess now they're actually starting to defend too? Question mark?
Maybe.
Or is it that other teams just can't hit the back of the net? I don't know. But it's a lot of goals.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I don't think there's been a few like that guy moments in the league so far, but I think they've just kind of had they haven't had the easiest schedule in the world, but if we look at the games that they've played
Kickers twice. They've played Tormenta.
They played Fuego, who they beat 1-0. North Carolina, who they played once. Their biggest scoring output was versus Tormenta on the March 25th, where they scored 3 goals. And that was when Tormenta was kind of lagging a bit. I don't know. It's interesting. I definitely think that of the 2 North Carolina teams, because we had the same situation last year where NCFC and Charlotte were both top of the table through the first 25% of the season, which is roughly where we're at. And then they kind of fell back to earth, especially our North Carolina, who kind of crashed and burned, for lack of a better term. I think Charlotte Independence, of the 2 teams, I don't know, because North Carolina looks really good too. But I don't know. I think North Carolina is interesting too, because if you weren't paying attention during the offseason, you're probably pretty shocked that they're so good, but they've got solid pieces there. They've had solid play, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up.
All right. So real quick, we just covered Charlotte and North Carolina, right? Make sure.
North Carolina can score.
Okay. So 2 minutes per team, that works?
Sure.
I'll keep track. All right. So since we already hit Charlotte and North Carolina, let's talk about that team down in Georgia, Tormenta. What are the pros and cons to them?
I mean, I still don't know who that team kind of is, just because they started off the season so bad. And then now they've sort of picked it up a little bit, but
I think injuries are still a big thing with them too, because I think Sterling is still out as well.
Yeah. Well, also Cassini. What the heck? Where was that last year in Madison?
He's coming off the bench. That's why.
I know. And he's had 2 just absolute in the Open Cup. He also scored some absolutely stupid goal from 90 degrees and just kind of tucked it in. It was ridiculous. And it's where was that last year for Madison?
Don't know at all, man. I think the big problem with Tormenta is their goalkeeper. You don't know. It's not you don't know who to start. It's about who can you trust not to have the major mistake that costs you a loss or a draw. You know, like that's the thing right now that I'm kind of hung up over in Tormenta. The back line is solid. The midfield play is great. Akele and all of them are playing well. It's really the goalkeeper spot. And if Cameron can figure that out or figure out which goalkeeper yips he can deal with more, things can be settled there. But right now, I think that's the thing that's going to hold Tormenta back from repeating or getting further up the table.
And I think once Sterling comes back, it gives him a bit more of a cushion just because he could score really, really well. And that's definitely something that in this league is a premium. And if he can find the back of the net, that's going to get him out of some jams.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, that is. Hey, look at that. We did that under 2 minutes.
Hot damn.
Look at us. All right. Next we got up is the Greenville Triumph.
Lazarus FC.
I don't know what's going on in Greenville. I mean, they started very poor, like super, super rough start. But then they go beat up on like a Fuego, and then they're coming up to a very tough stretch of 3 games versus NCFC, Charlotte, and the Kickers. Like, some of them defense lapses. It's not like they're. First of all, NCFC is going to punish you on the counter. They are fast and they score. And Savania and Mikey, they turn just like that. Charlotte just runs at you. They're just going to fucking run at you. And then the Kickers are very much more like a complete overall team. So they're going to hit their spots, but they got I hope they got their yips out with those two games, because otherwise it's going to be a long season for them.
I will say this about Greenville. I think that if you look at the teams that they lost, all of those teams that they lost to do one thing particularly well. They hit quick on the counter and they exploit space, right? Like they force you to react on the counter. The teams that they've beaten are teams that can't create. Fuego cannot create. Lexington right now cannot create in the final third. Lexington can get them to the final third. He can't create in the final third. I think if Greenville can figure out a way how to slow down some of these teams' counterattacks and, keep their shots going, obviously it helps that you got Coutinho, who's in amazing form right now. I think he's scored 3 goals in his last 3 games or something like that. Like, if you're Greenville, you're hoping and praying that everything is kind of past you now. You can just look forward. And with that is time. Look at that. Under 2 minutes. Look at us. We're doing a great job. All right. Next up, Cal's not here, so we can skip Fort Madison. No, I'm joking.
Draw FC.
Right.
So, not much I can say here. They played a really, really fantastic game against Greenville, their last go out. But that Chicago house loss will always be embarrassing. So
the thing about that loss that makes it embarrassing is they had that game won.
Yeah.
They had that game won, and then it was just like you let them back in. Like what?
Oh, that's the crazy. They literally haven't played since they beat Greenville 4-1 on guaranteed win night.
Yeah,
which is a hilarious promotion because that they are like, we're gonna make guaranteed win night Greenville because we're gonna lose, and then we're gonna get all those people back in the stadium for some other random game on a weeknight and just like pack that place out. Then they win, and it's like, oh, oops, we weren't supposed to do that. I'm surprised they just didn't come out and say we won. So still free tickets. Everyone gets free tickets. So come back, please. Buy some beer. Cheese curds, $8.
Let me ask you guys this about Fort Madison real quick. What is the strongest part of this team? Is it the defensive part or is it the attacking part?
Attacking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which feels
weird to say with the 1-1 draw, a 0-0 draw, a 3-2 loss, and then a 4-1 win. But it's their attacking. Like, they don't have to worry about defense because they're just gonna, once they find that one spot and they can turn around and run, they're gonna do it, and they're just gonna fucking tire you out.
Well, and the fact that they scored 4 goals in one game, which is more than most teams can say. But I will say it was the most Ford Madison thing ever that they made Football America or something on Monday after that 4-1 shellacking. Yeah. And on the group chat, it's that counter play where they had 6 guys running down the field was really cool. That play should be on there. And Kyle's like, no, it's for the jersey. It's like, that's on brand.
Real
Do
quick,
something cool on the field, and people still talk about the kids. It's like
real quick before we move on to the next team. Is the 4-1 win against Greenville an anomaly, or is this something we might see happen over the course of the year with this team?
I don't think you'll see 4-1, but you'll definitely see the same type of attacking presence. Okay. So they're not going to put them all in the back of the net, but they're definitely going to get a lot more multi-goal games.
All right. Let's put another 2 minutes on the clock. We are going to head over to Colorado and talk about NOCO. Northern Colorado is unbeaten this year. I feel justified in my factor saying Delgado was going to step up and be a key team defensively.
Who's the next team?
No, let me have this because y'all gave me hell for this. Matter of fact, Hellstorm. I feel right saying this. This team, look, see this team in person, they are an impressive team. You can obviously tell they are missing Ivan Power. That's a given. But key pieces like Arthur Smith, the guy plays fullback, but damn near plays attacking mid in the attacking part of the game. All right, I'm done hyping them up. Let's talk about them for real, y'all. Like, what does NOCO need to do? Their away stretch is slowly coming to an end, so they're going to start to have more home games. They only got 3 games left in that stretch. If you're NOCO, how do you focus the rest of these 3 game stretch so you can focus the rest of your attention on being home?
You need to win in Omaha this weekend. I think that's first and foremost, just looking at their schedule. You have Omaha, which is probably the toughest game. Knoxville. And then you have a random Thursday night versus Forward Madison, which, you know, you got to beat Knoxville, which you should if you're as good as you think you are. Madison, probably happy with the draw on the road on a Thursday night. So you got to beat Omaha. You got to get those points, got to get yourself in a good spot. And then hope and pray that once you get on a baseball field like they're playing on, that's a style that works for you. And it's going to be interesting because they played everywhere but a baseball field last year, and they're about to play all 16 home games on a baseball field. So it'll be interesting to see them kind of adjust to that because, you know, jokes about Omaha aside, you know, it is smaller dimensions. You can play a different style of game. And I think it's something where people have kind of figured out Omaha's shtick with the baseball field. And so it's not as big of an advantage as it was for Omaha when they came into the league. So hopefully you're good on a short field. Otherwise, you're going to have a long season.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Put another 2 minutes on the clock. Chip, we're going to talk about your boys, Yogi and Omaha. Where do we start?
Well, I think we don't talk about the St. Louis game. It never happened. I don't know. I think if you're an Omaha fan, you got to be pretty happy. You drew 0-0 versus a Forward Madison team who's looking much improved. You beat Central Valley Fuego on the road. One you got to win. North Carolina FC isn't even the most frustrating result. You know, they got a PK early in the game. They scored another one, and then we scored a garbage time goal. But the most frustrating game is that Charlotte FC result. If you looked at XG, we had 2.5 XG to 0.5. Nobody scored. And you missed like 2 point blank shots. And so again, with Omaha, the question is who's going to step up? Who's going to score? And I don't know. I've said online that I like Steinwasser. I think he's been really great off the bench. Nomeza's been great. Again, hasn't found the back of the net. I really like Steinwash, or I really like Dos Santos, but I think we need to do a better job of getting to him on set pieces. I think it's already kind of the running joke for Omaha fans is every time there's a set piece, everyone's like, oh, you know that, you know, Omaha's coach was a set piece coach for El Paso, don't you? No. And it's like, yeah, but we say this every set piece, but you know, let's convert on those. Those have been a strength in the past. And finally, we have a big, tall guy up front who's just going to put it in the back of the net. So again, got to figure out where those goals are. Defense is looking fine. I really like how they switched up Shaft Brewer over to the left side last game. I thought that was great. Dion was the best player that we had versus St. Louis, and I'm glad we have him back. And, you know, we got a tough test this weekend, and hopefully we get a result.
All right. Look at us. Ending early again. Next on the clock. I put 2 minutes on the clock. Let's talk about my Richmond Kickers. Now, the thing about this Richmond team is very simply this. Defensively, I think the stats prove they are one of the better defensive teams in this league, probably one of the top half. Offensively, they are probably one of the worst right now.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, man. I think it's just the fluidity in the final third and probably being unlucky, but you got to create chances. That's the thing right now Richmond is struggling with, is creating opening chances because the book is out on Terzaghi. Everyone knows what he's going to do. Everyone knows how he's going to play. Now, me saying that, I will say this. We have played against teams that have notoriously played well against Terzaghi. If you take Noko aside, Noko's better defensively this year. Charlotte's played well against Terzaghi, and Greenville has played well against him. So Terzaghi really doesn't have a lot of touches like that. So you need other players who step up, such as Gordon, Bentley, Belmar, step up regularly. I think the thing that will help with that is that if our midfielders, Neil, Suko, take shots from outside the box, so that way the defense can kind of step up and look at them as a threat. Because right now they're looking at them as like, it's almost like Dylan Brooks on the 3-point line. Like, you're really not going to be afraid of him shooting the ball. Like, he's there, but you're not afraid of it. So I think that's the thing to help out. I think the strong part about Richmond right now is, like I said, like the defense. We got our goalkeeper for the next 2-3 years in Willie Palms. Like, if Akira decides to step away after this year, I feel safe with Willie Palms back there. He's had, I think, 3 clean sheets out of the 4 games he's played. He's played really, really well, really, really significant minutes. And also the back line has been tremendous. Like, this is probably one of the strongest units. If we take H team's overall units, outside of maybe Charlotte's attack, I think Richmond's defense is probably the second best unit in USL right now. But that's my 2 minutes up.
Well, real quick, because we saved time elsewhere. How much are you guys missing Bolaños?
Oh, a lot. Just because you're missing someone that can. We have everyone that can do one part of what he did, but we haven't found anyone to put all parts of it together yet. So someone that can get behind the defense, that can connect play, and also drop back and be defensive. We haven't found that person yet. So that's the part that we're struggling with. So we put another 2 minutes on the clock. Guys, pros and cons of One Knocks, and I will start with you. I cannot hear anything you're saying, Ab.
Well, let's start off by saying Jake Keegan obviously saw the Jake Keegan Cardio Club stickers, and he's their leading scorer.
Which is hilarious. Which is absolutely
good for him.
Good for him. He's doing good. I want to start off with this question, though. When it comes to One Knocks, do you guys think we might have overhyped them a little bit? Because they seem to be kind of sputtering right now.
I still think it's a long season, and they're a young team with a new coach. And they're not as young as like a Lexington, where Lexington was definitely the team that we all said like had the highest ceiling, because if they like hit, they're gonna hit really well. But I think, you know, there's still a lot of time. They need to congeal a bit more. It's a new team, it's a new coach, it's a new system for everybody. And we'll see. I mean, it's crazy. I'm just looking at their stats, and like Jake Keegan is the leader for like every single offensive stat, which is kind of crazy.
I think the thing right now with One Knocks is they're going through their growing pains, but there are some disappointing losses or missed points. I will say that. Let's say that. Chattanooga, that's a game that should be 1-1. Tormenta, that's a game that could have been 2-1. I mean 1-1. So there are games there that is like, you can tell that this is a team formally coming together, and they haven't learned yet how to turn draws into wins and losses into draws yet. They haven't gotten to that point yet. I will say this, though. The next 3 games are important. It's crazy. You can get, Fuego, Fort Madison, Nelco there. So we'll see how they do. But it's interesting to see what's going on there in One Knocks. Ab, are you back with us? Still can't hear you. Oh, we love you, Ab. Whatever you're saying out there, in the vast void of nothingness. All right, moving on. We're moving on to their so-called Derby rivals, Lexington SC. I'll put another 2 minutes on the clock. Let's talk about Lexington. Have they impressed us so far?
I mean, I think they're fine. I think they probably should be pretty happy with where they are right now. I think they were like essentially a brand new team, and they've scored some goals, they've conceded some, but they're still right in that hunt. So I mean, I don't know. It's about what I would expect. It's probably a little bit better than I expected. They're not like dead in the water, even though they're even on points with Fuego, who I would argue is pretty dead in the water, but Fuego can't score to save their life.
Okay.
And their only win comes first. Central Valley, their only win comes first Chattanooga, while Lexington they beat South Georgia, who, isn't a shabby team at all.
Yeah. No, it's not. I think the thing for Lexington, I think having watched their last game, I can tell this team struggles in the final third, and you have a lot of offensive players that want to go individually one-on-one, but they don't know how to work together as a unit yet. I really like Caleb Fox back there as a center back. He had a nice roaming run in the game. But I think the thing that struggles against Lexington is they got to start with the mental mistakes, man. Like, they had Greenville on the ropes at points in that game, but then you go down a man and you let in a cheap goal, and that's all Greenville wants. And then after that, you got to be exposed. And you can tell they just couldn't create, and that's the thing right now that's hurting Lexington is. I think of Lexington in the summer, if they can find someone that can, like a number 10, someone that can just facilitate the ball and get into their options like Nico Brown, I think you will see things open up for Lexington, but we'll see. And that's my timer telling me to stop talking about them so we can go ahead and move on to our next team, who is the Chattahoochee Red Wolves. So
let's just lump them and Fuego in together.
Okay, so we'll just do that, and we'll make it 4 minutes. Chattanooga and Fuego. Right now, I got to say, man, they're not bad, but there's a lot of question marks around these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, Central Valley, they've only beaten the Red Wolves, and the Red Wolves have only beaten one Knoxville.
Yeah.
So they haven't beaten anybody worth mentioning. And so, if anything, their points are just probably a little overstated just because they've only beaten, like, the teams that aren't good.
Yeah. Also,
don't seem good.
Real quick, before we keep going, just want to give our thoughts and prayers out to Madrid, who is the Chattanooga defender. He lost his mom this past week, and they did a nice little tribute to him. So just, thoughts and prayers to him. Sorry about the loss of your mom and everything like that. Hope the best for you. But yeah, man, when it comes to Fuego, I feel like they want Bejev to be their main striker, but also be the creative piece, and that's not going to work. Like, I look at the setup of this Fuego team, man. It is just so lackadaisical. Like, you have a bright present Victor Fout. I don't understand why you aren't using him more in the attacking piece of the game, and why you are just like, we'll figure it out with Bejev. Also, another question: where is Ant-Man? He's nowhere to be found. I swear he resigned. And then now real quick, I'll flip it back over to Chattanooga. When it comes to Chattanooga, this team looked like a shell of itself. And I don't know, they're just letting in mistakes. Like, yeah. Oh, and also Kayla Hodges has personal beef with the Fuego admin, which was hilarious.
That was really funny.
That was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, Chip, like I asked you this question, man. Like, what if you could change one thing about either team right now, what would you change?
Have them not suck? No, but I think with both of them, with Chattanooga, I think Chattanooga has the higher chance of being a better team with the coaching stuff and the coaching changes and everything else that happened there. There's some growing pains. Like, they lost almost every player of note from their roster last year with the coaching changeover. So it's going to take some time. Fuego, I don't know what's going on in Fuego. Like, they're announcing players that they've already signed. Like, their fans are protesting. No one's going to the games. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like quite the shit show over there.
Yeah, it does seem very concerning over there. what's happening over there. So I think we'll stop talking about that, man. So, listeners, if you're watching us live, drop your thoughts down in the comments about the 12 teams. Who you think's performing well, who you think's performing badly. What are your pros and cons about each team? We're gonna take some of those and tweet them out. Kyle, what you put up here?
Kyle?
I mean, not Kyle. Kyler. Both of them starts with K. It's fine. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we kind of told y'all about Chattanooga. It's going to be
so for our radio listeners, Mr. Hodges said, when I went to the Red Wolves versus Legion match for the Open Cup, the SG second started chanting Ziggy out in the first half of the match. It's going to be a long, 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 all capital letters season, which, again, like, it's a new coach. It's a pretty new team. It's a tough league. Like, there's going to be growing pains. I think they definitely have more of an upside than Fuego seemed to have.
Yeah, I believe in that. I agree.
So we'll see. I mean, be patient. If you look at, it's not super alarming. I mean, they lost to Fuego, which is not great. And then they lost to North Carolina FC, who's second in the table. And then they have a draw versus Northern Colorado, who's good. And then they beat Knoxville. So, you're winning. You won the game you were supposed to win, and you lost to an NCFC team who's really hot. So, I don't know. Not the end of the world.
No, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I agree with you. I think Chattanooga might have a higher upside, but Fuego, man, that roster, I don't know what you're drawing from that. Chip, right now, is there any player right now that stands out to you so far?
I mean, I think Arthur Rogers, again, shouldn't be in this league. I don't know why he's in this league. Like, he shouldn't be. Someone should sign him. Same with Nuhu. I mean, if it wasn't for him being an international player, he would definitely be gone. But he's been so solid and has erased so many mistakes for Union Omaha. Then Cassini down in Tormenta has been really great as well. He showed a lot of really good flashes at Madison last year, and it seems to be putting it together this year at Tormenta. And so good for him. He moved down there, and they were having a great season so far. And, I think it's early still, but it's looking like the league's reloaded on talent, and I think we're going to have another really tight year this year.
Yeah. No, it does seem like it. I got no disagreements with that. You're right. Arthur Rogers should not be in this league because he can play attacking midfielder at the right back spot, which is unfair. But yeah, I got no disagreements there with those players. I think Eb is back with us. Eb, you back with us? She's back with us, folks.
Yeah.
We're here. All right. So real quick, we are going to go ahead and move on. We're going to talk about the 6 upcoming games this weekend. I think, if I'm correct, I think this is the first weekend where every team is in action, right?
I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got 5 games on Saturday and then 1 on Sunday.
All right. So we're going to start off with Fort Madison, Charlotte Independence. Guys, what are our initial thoughts on this game, and who do we think is going to win?
So the game will definitely be, I don't want to say chippy, but it's going to be fast paced.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be interesting because Madison, and the last game they played that wasn't an Open Cup game was that Greenville shellacking. And then we all watched them just absolutely fall apart versus Chicago House. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Charlotte's been really good. It's been a good test. I think Charlotte's going to win this one, probably like 2-1.
So I have this as my chaos game of the week.
I agree.
I agree with you. I think this game is going to be chippy. I would not be shocked if we see a red card in this game.
Or 2.
Wouldn't be shocked to see how this goes. And I think this game this is a game that makes or breaks any team season. But I think this could be a game in which it can propel one team to be like, all right, now we got things kicking and flowing, and this could be the kind of game where it derails you for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on a sneaky 2-game skid after this. So just keep out for that. And I picked for this game. I've gone with a Fort Madison 2-1 win. Next game we got coming up, we got Greenville Triumph versus North Carolina FC at 7 p.m. What do you guys think for this one?
This is either going to be a boring 1-1 draw or it's just going to be a beat down.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think if you're NCFC wants to turn this into a track meet. They want to get up and down the field. They want to punish Hark's team. I don't know. North Carolina, I'm in on North Carolina right now until half their roster ends up injured again. But yeah, I mean, I think I like North Carolina here.
I'll take the draw on this one. I'll take a 1-1 draw. I think NCFC will score early, but I also think NCFC will get another case of the yips and let in a fluke Greenville goal. And I think Greenville just hangs on for a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. Sorry, Eb. I'm sorry, but we know that's bound to happen. All right. Next game we got coming up, 7:30. We got South Georgia Tormenta versus Richmond Kickers down in Statesboro. Who we got in this game, y'all?
I
like a 1-1 draw here. Both teams haven't been the best offensively. I think they're both good for one. I think Tormenta's still trying to figure some stuff out. Richmond's still trying to figure something out. I think they're both good for one. I don't know if they're good for much more, but I would say watch. Cassini's going to score some other crazy ass goal.
Now I will say this: Cassini has, I think, in the 3 games he played against us, he's played well in one. Hawahara hasn't played well against Richmond. Not really good. Always has to
Richmond still can't find the back of the net right now. They can't buy a goal.
I want to lead 2-1 Richmond, but I'll go 1-1 right now.
It's going to be the most chaotic 1-1. It's my chaos game.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be chaos. Next game we got coming up, Chattahoochee Red Wolves versus Lexington SC.
Oh, we're not going to say that. Why are we saying what? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm assuming Yogi is not referencing the Alan Jackson song.
No, I'm not. I just heard it on Twitter, so I started calling them Chattahoochee.
Have you heard that song before?
No, I haven't.
I'll send you that song. It's a good song.
Yeah. I like Lexington here in the upset. I like a 2-0 Lexington win.
Okay.
Who do you guys have?
Wait, which game is this? The Chattanooga. Neither team. I don't know, because it's not going to be chaos. It's definitely not going to be the vibe. It's just going to be a mess. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be goose egg.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Next game up is this is my Vibez pick of the week. So this is a game that you want to, roll something nice to. You might want to sit back and watch this one. Union Omaha versus Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Who do we have in this one? I have Chip. You're gonna love this. I have a Union Omaha.
Hey,
2 win.
Ooh. You are much more confident in them than I am. I don't know. I don't.
I know, and I said that after all the hype I've just spoken about Northern Colorado, but
and I think I don't know. I think UD Omaha, I think, is pretty close to putting something together. You definitely had some really great moments of brilliance, and I think if they can just find the back of the net, but really, they got so close for Charlotte Independence. And I just think, if they can figure it out, they're back at Werner Park for the first time this year. Probably going to be a good crowd. It's supposed to be really nice weather out. I think there's going to be a lot of energy there. Noco's on a real short week. They're traveling. They played the Wednesday night game versus Denver, so they're on one less day of rest. So I think, I I think it's probably gonna be 2-1 as opposed to 3-2. But yeah, I like Omaha winning that game.
Who you got?
I have this as my Vibez game actually. So I mean, it's probably gonna be 2-1 Omaha.
All right. And then the last game on Sunday Night Football, we have Central Valley Fuego versus One Knox, 7 p.m. Guys, who do we like in this one? I personally like neither of these teams, so I'm going with a draw.
1-0 One Knox. I mean,
Yeah,
Fuego's
I can do that too. I can be tough to that.
Fuego's not good.
Yeah.
And I think One Knox is maybe turning the corner. I don't know, but I think I like One Knox a lot more than I like Fuego. And I just think Fuego's gonna, I don't know, like that. They're gonna be like 2021 North Carolina, I think, by the end of the year.
Let me ask you this question. If you're Fuego and you lose this game, is it time to hit the reset button or the panic button?
Cheese and the rice. Oh my goodness. This is why.
Who's panicking? They have like their supporters groups boycotting their games. They have like 5 people.
I mean, they should have hit the panic button like the beginning of the season. And it's too late for that now. So now you got to ride it out to the end of the year.
Yeah, and it's and you wonder how much of their off the field stuff is just because they really don't have any better options, and this was the best case. You'd hope that's the case. You hope it's not just, we're cool with $20 tailgating spots and $16 beers at a third division soccer league, but I don't know. Like, they better hope. I mean, they need to figure something out.
Yeah.
And like for them, like maybe the on-field performance isn't the most important thing they have to worry about. So I gotta imagine. Same with Charlotte. I can't imagine it's very sustainable to run a soccer team when you have 500 fans per game.
Nah, I mean, I can't imagine that at all. Guys, I think we covered every game, and I think we've also talked about
over/under.
Over/under, yeah. All right, that's right. Over/under. So this is where we pick how many goals we think are going to happen this weekend. Chip, let's start with you, buddy. How many goals do you think are going to happen this weekend?
So I think.
Wait. What's the line?
I think we said 13.
Yeah.
13's the line?
Yeah.
Don't mind me, kids. Don't do this at home.
I need to add up my stuff.
I think I said 14.
Yeah, I'm gonna do over.
We'll do over.
I'll pick over.
Daddy's had a long day.
I took the over.
Yeah, I like over.
What did I take? I set the line at 13, so I'm sitting right at 13.
You're pushing 13? Okay.
Lucky number 13.
I think Kyle. Let's see. I know Kyle took the over as well. So damn, we just think it's just about to be a goal explosion this weekend.
Which ultimately means that there's games. Yeah, I mean that's like not even 2 goals per game, but yeah. I don't know. Watch.
I'm barely.
I got a lot of 0-0.
Yeah,
I got a lot of 0-0s.
Yeah, the week we pick the over, we all pick the over though. Watch, it's like a bunch of 0-0 draws and 1 or 2 1-0 wins.
Probably so.
Just fade us. Whatever we pick, just fade it. We've been very far off on the goals.
So real quick, guys, before we wrap up, there are a few games that are midweek. Like you got Charlotte Independence versus Greenville Triumph, One Knox versus Fort Madison. That happens Wednesday the 3rd. On Friday, you have Richmond versus Omaha, Chattanooga Red Wolves versus South Georgia Tormenta, Central Valley Fuego versus North Carolina. So there are no Saturday games this week. Next week.
That's wild.
I wonder why. I mean,
I don't know.
They're all on.
I guess they want to try new time slots.
I mean, is there something else?
I just don't want to be drunk in that Richmond game.
Do we just have that much reverence for the Kentucky Derby?
Probably. So.
I mean, that's like because we're doing a Kentucky Derby at my house. If you didn't get the invite in Omaha, sorry, you're not cool enough to come. Don't show up, please. My wife.
So
will
a bunch of white people dressed like slave masters. Shame.
Goodbye, Yogi.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, I mean that's weird. I didn't realize none of the games had it. I figured Richmond on Friday was just some weird scheduling thing, but I
thought it was too. But then I looked at it and they were like, nah, everyone's like Wednesday or Friday.
Maybe it's like graduation weekend from college. And so since there's so many college towns, everyone's just like, yeah, we can't do it this weekend. I don't know. That's weird.
No, I talked to Nathan from Richard Kicker's front office, and he was pretty much just like, yeah, the league wants to try different dates to see if in-game weeks can work. Like if we promote it like it's a weekend game. So that's why they chose Cinco de Mayo. But other than also they're partnering with like the Hispanic Commerce on Cinco de Mayo to make it like this big event.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing any. Union Omaha is doing anything for Cinco de Mayo. Like I know they're gonna like march in the parade.
You're in Richmond.
Oh, duh. No shit. I know the team is going to be at the Cinco de Mayo parade because they are every year. But yeah, that would make sense why we aren't doing a Cinco de Mayo promo because we're in Richmond. But
you're in Richmond.
Well, hey, should be a fun weekend, and let's see how wrong we are about the over/under.
Oh, probably hella wrong. As always, everyone, I just want to say this. Enjoy your chips and guacamole. Enjoy your margaritas. Get them extra tequila. If they say one shot, put two in it. If they say 2 shots, get your child support ready because it's coming.
And don't call them street tacos. They're just normal tacos.
Yeah. And always tip your servers, but never with the wrong tip. Always with the right tip.
Mm-hmm.
Tip.
Right. Goodbye.
See you
guys. As always, everyone, this is the show. We'll catch you in 2 weeks' time where if Richmond scores a goal, we'll see. If Union Omaha decides to play a little bit of defense and this Ebony's NCFC finally cracks back down to earth. Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. We'll holler at you guys next week. Be easy. In the goddamn show.